yeah, for those of you just tuning in who haven't read the top bar, you'd be surprised how often we stream games, and the first question people ask in the chat is, what are you guys playing? It says right there. This is the Xbox 360 version of Shadow of Mordor, and the current gen versions, word on the street is that they are terrible. So, or when I say current, the previous gen versions, so Xbox 360 and PS3.
You never want to take the rumor mill's word for it, you know? Like, for perfect example, Sonic Boom. I played a bunch of Sonic Boom, and the rumor mill, like, the world was like, oh, Sonic Boom is the worst thing of all time. It's not the worst thing of all time. It's just as bad as the other bad Sonic games.
That the Dark Lord Sauron was defeated.
Oh,
Danny Cowan, is this Halo?
It is here that for
How did you guys get this?
2,500 years.
Yeah, that's the other question we get all the time: is how do you guys get this?
How'd you guys get this?
But you know, I mean, things are different than they were even a couple of years ago, or when we were kids, or even you know, 20-somethings reading game news on the internet. You didn't have just randos playing games on Twitch because it didn't exist.
That's true. A year ago, when I started at Joystick.
Oh man, look at that artifacting.
Tasty. I'd never streamed a game in my entire life a year ago, and I was like, hey, what? You just watch?
Oh yeah. No, I met my brother-in-law's son. I met recently, and we talked a little about Twitch and YouTube, and he's like, "So who do you watch?" And I mean, no one really.
Us?
Don't really do that.
Oh, I think we've lost Ludwig.
I'm here.
Oh, I thought you just said you had to reboot.
Mr. Fuzzy.
I'm running multiple machines over here, like a professional.
Like a professional.
I'm restarting my Mac, but I'm talking to you on my PC.
Oh, well, whenever I run into a hiccup in the stream, I have to re-crank
Oh god, now
my laptop.
I think the gamma's way too high now. This is like washed out real bad.
Yeah, it is.
It's your radiant beauty.
Dear Hile, the mighty chicken killer. Come on. Come on.
Richard, can you tell if this is pre-rendered or not? If they're doing
there's a big black screen between what I was just doing and what I'm about to do. So I haven't moved yet, and it went to a loading screen. So I'm guessing no, that was not. Nope, not real time. That was not real time, everybody.
Not real time at all.
Hold on, I'm gonna change the gamma once again.
Oh, I can't.
I, for one, hate real time. The real time is just so boring. It's only 24 hours per day.
Yeah, honestly, I want some pre-rendered life.
Oh wow, there's a lot of. This is like a huge loading screen just between the pause menu and getting back. God, my God, this game! Look at it.
I'm changing this.
Oh my God! Wow.
Not enough.
I mean, do Xbox 360 games just look like this, and I've forgotten?
Don't forget to block.
No.
I feel like Halo 4 looked better than this.
Yeah, but I mean, Halo 4 is.
Your enemy will not always be.
It's the best looking game on the planet.
Yeah, but like Grand Theft Auto 5 looks better than this.
Easy,
Freaking
son.
Watch Dogs looks better than
I'm
this.
not a soldier yet.
Titanfall looked pretty good, as I recall.
Oh, wow.
I'll have you.
Wow.
Well, that's, I don't know, it's not, that orc looks pretty good.
Thank you for the compliment, Ranger. Go ahead. Nice.
You're not so bad yourself, Ranger.
I like your flowing cloak.
Although, I said that orc looked good, but again, I don't think it was in real time. Nope. Oh, he looks much worse than that. Hold A to sprint.
Remember your training.
Ranger, I must know, how do you keep your paws so clean? I suffer from real blotchiness.
Well, it's still just as brutal. I'll tell you that much.
I guess, like...
Stand fast, dear High.
guess it doesn't look. It looks fine. It doesn't look terrible. Man, it's definitely jarring to go from the cutscenes, which are clearly video capture of the engine,
Right.
on PS4 and Xbox One.
Oh man, all my perks are gone. So I'm not knocking people down when I counter them.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're trying to play with a fully leveled character.
Yeah.
Remember, son, launch deep.
Is it?
and cut
It's not
deeper.
60 frames per second on PS4, is it? It's still 30.
Oh, I think it's, yeah, it's 30.
Yes.
Which, despite what everyone says, that does not.
This is what, 7?
Not orcs, the Uryx.
Yes, that's what it's running at anyway.
Go find your mother. Go find your mother. Keep her safe.
30 frames per
Copy that, behind you
second,
go.
despite all the hullabaloo recently, especially with Ubisoft talking about it. Like, in an action-adventure game like this, like an open-world game, it doesn't really bother me.
Oh, yeah. Me neither.
I agree. I mean, I think animation looks way better at 60, but that's...
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Am I
In terms
dead?
of responsiveness, 30 is fine for games where you're like a stealth element or, you know.
Now, do I think you should always aim higher? Sure. It's funny when you start talking about, when you hear like the Oculus people start talking about development, and it's like 1080p, 60 frames per second isn't enough, guys. You gotta do better than that. And like in virtual reality, they're right, but not for a game like this.
Well, as I have told both of you guys in recent streams, especially when we were doing Halo, and it came up and when we were playing Grand Theft Auto 5 on PlayStation 4, there are games that you can have at 60 frames per second, but lock at 30, and I almost always end up locking them at 30. Like Last of Us.
Consistency, I think, is... I mean, that's what you really want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Consistency is big. Render B, it makes a big difference for fast combat games like Bayonetta 2. Boy, is that true. Bayonetta 2, like, that game has to be at 60 frames per second to be that game.
Kiss. Give my wife a kiss.
Happy anniversary, my love.
Alien.
Stealth kiss bonus.
Beautiful.
Richard, have you finished
Where did you
Bayonetta
find
2
it?
yet?
I have
I still
not.
have a few
You guys
friends
keep
left in Gotham.
making me play other stuff.
Did you talk to my father?
And to play Tales from
Yes,
the
I do.
Borderlands.
Must be
And
so
nothing's
hard.
changed.
not
She's
not,
still
not to
very
go into
stubborn.
spoiler territory, but Ludwig, do you
Yeah, I
prefer
will not come willingly.
the
There must be
final
a
boss
better
in
life.
Bayonetta 2 or the final boss in Bayonetta 1?
Not now.
Huh.
But
That's a surprisingly tough...
It is a tough question.
Is it? Is it like the?
It is.
I feel like the final boss in the first one is like a midway boss in the second game or something like that, or something very similar.
Well, I really like the fight
must
against...
hide now. Are we both dead? Come on.
I mean, I consider, like, my favorite boss in that game is when you're fighting her father at the end of the first game.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's...
Spoiler warning.
It's the end of the first
Is that because you have father issues, though?
No, it's because, I mean, I used to fight him
I'll clear a
on
path.
top of the skyscraper all the time.
Oh, it brings back memories, is what you're
Stealth
saying.
is my
Yeah,
only
it's
battle.
nostalgia, you know? They really capture that.
It also, like, you've also driven a motorcycle up the arm of a god to save the loved one. That's,
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the first game.
Oh, first game. All right.
Yeah.
I think I might prefer.
I like the scale of it.
The soul
Yeah, the
thou
scale,
render.
but like that's the thing. Like the scale of the boss fights in 2 starts so huge, but like yeah, I don't want to give it away because I want Richard to be surprised. But yeah, it's awesome. And Bayonetta 2 is certainly a game that offers a surprise. You play Shadow of Mordor and you're like, oh, I get to ride with a creepy, leathery-looking wolf thing. That's not that surprising. Bayonetta 2, you turn into a snake at one point wearing
Yes.
a junk hat.
Wearing a tiara and earrings. Like, where would a snake wear earrings? Well, on its cowl, of course. Because it's a cobra. Can cobras swim? I don't know. This one can.
Why?
Have you guys not seen that? Snakes are weird.
I'm right here, son. I'm right here.
Especially warriors. These are all things John Wick.
I'm gonna just go ahead and skip these cutscenes because we've seen these.
Yeah, man.
I'm actually not able to see this some Twitch weirdness. I feel like the stability is not there today.
Oh, it doesn't look fantastic. You're right.
We shall both sacrifice our lives to Gondor.
Okay. So I guess you're just testing out all kinds of capture gear, huh, Ludwig? Oh, man. Reforge. Alright, well the map looks the same.
Well, like this is the thing. We have not, the only thing that was officially explained to people from by Warner Brothers was they said that the Nemesis system would not appear in the same form
Right.
as it does on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC because it's impossible. Like it requires processing power that is not offered.
Well, I mean, like, remember that the Xbox 360 has a pitiful 512 megabytes
Right.
of RAM,
Right.
whereas the Xbox One has 8 gigs.
Yeah, it has literally like 16 times that.
Son, we missed one of you at
But yeah,
Doctor's,
the rest of the
An easy
game
mistake
is
to
supposed to be there.
Yeah.
We are getting serious freaking load times, man.
Yeah. The facial capture on the orcs definitely not where it was or where it is on the new version.
Yeah.
I mean, the presentation of the regular version is really incredible, I think. Especially how it loads up. Like, if you press the button when you're in that special view mode, and it centers the enemy and it, like, gives you their name. It looks really cool, and like when it puts up the little title card for when they're about to fight each other.
Yeah.
And it just pulls those 3D models. It's just really impressive. Like, all that stuff is seamlessly presented.
Actually, now that you're like in a well lit area, it doesn't really look that bad. That's an interesting thing about Shadow of Mordor to me is a lot of the newer games that have been coming out in the past year that are very graphically advanced.
Excuse me? Grab this guy. That was weird.
These graphically advanced games have sort of the same presentation issues that come with using CG in movies, where darker scenes look even better. Like there are moments in Shadow of Mordor where the game looks its absolute best when it's nighttime and it's like raining. So you some of the finer details are obscured.
Yeah.
Oh wow, the facial.
Yeah,
animation
that's
is
true of like Forza Horizon as well. Like when it's
Right.
raining and storming, and I think was it Infamous? Did Infamous have really cool rain effects and stuff?
All right, here we go. We're seeing
For all of its other problems, Drive Club looks amazing at night.
we're seeing some Nemesis system here. I mean, yeah, you're seeing these are just the differences between like the new generation and the old one. I mean, you're looking at like the texture work here, just not nearly what it is on PS3, PS4.
Sean Sharkey is asking, like, so what's in place of the Nemesis system?
Well, we're kind of finding out right now.
We're finding out.
I think it's still there. It's just extremely stripped down.
Right. And I think
down.
the issue is like, I'm not sure. I think that the older versions don't populate the world with new nemesis, like based on your friends' games, in the same way. And
I think the limitation would be some memory and CPU. Like you wouldn't be able to run as many independent AI characters as Shadow of Mordor does on the other versions.
Nothing to do with it.
Because all those dudes are walking around in the world,
right at all
doing stuff.
times,
You can bump into them by accident. That's really cool.
which is what makes that game so exciting.
Yeah, it's
the best part.
That's always the best when you have like a target marked or something, and one of his traits is appears unexpectedly. You're just fighting some other orc, and oh, there he is.
Yeah.
Just showed up out of nowhere.
The dialogue, the incidental dialogue, is so awesome, and it makes the game just feel so
That is
real.
a monolith speciality.
It really is.
If you've played their other games, like they are the kings of conversations that you will ever get.
This is how it will be. The future and
You thought you could run away from me, Ranger? Come back here and I'll throw some bees at you. Nobody. You throw bees at people. They don't throw bees at you.
find the slaver.
They're not smart enough.
At least that never happened.
Oh, you know one thing I'm.
There are more guy flies.
They're more Morgul.
I'll tell you what I'm not
Flies?
what I'm not seeing right now. I haven't seen any herbs to pick up.
Ooh, that's interesting. Maybe
Uh-oh. I just picked a big fight.
seems like an odd thing to remove.
Ooh. Oh, I have abilities I can unlock. Why haven't I done that?
Richard, seems like the combat's treating you nicely.
Yeah, it's about the same. Now, of course, I played on PS4, so seeing different button prompts is kind of throwing me off a little bit.
That, yeah, I hate when that happens.
I like how whenever you're killing someone, like you've knocked them down and you're going to do the finisher move, and someone interrupts it, it's like stabbing this guy once in the head isn't quite enough to kill him. It's like you didn't finish the move. You have
Hey, you gotta stab that guy again. Right in the head.
twice in the head with a sword. I don't know, this doesn't feel maybe quite as frantic.
Well, this is not an area of the game where you can get into the biggest fights.
That's true.
You gotta get to one of those comforts to really get like I can't imagine it's gonna be able to do things on the same scale.
What does that sound? What is that?
Ludwig, are you forging metal again?
Well, you know, you have to keep your arcane sword collection up to date.
You gotta keep it robust.
Oh, that's right.
No, it's just that they're building a hotel next door.
Let's
Still.
see. Oh, can I get this? When your hit streak is charged, press YB. Oh yeah, those instant executions. Gotta get those.
Oh yeah.
Very important. Man, there's a... Okay, just... Let's look at this, shall we? I paused, you know, went to my skill screen. I'm done with that. I unpause. And there's like this really long load time just between unpausing and the game actually starting up again.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 5 seconds.
That's significant.
It's, well, and you have to pause a lot in Mordor, like to select your nemesis, and
Mm-hmm.
there's some grass on the ground. I'm definitely not seeing any... Oh wait, there's an herb. There, I found one. Okay, and there...
I always find foliage. I swear to God, I'm just such a nerd. I like foliage comparisons between versions of games.
Yeah. Oh, there we go, yeah. So you still have the hunting challenges and the survival challenges. Those are still there. So, like, getting, you know, to Nifredil.
Right. You still have to shoot.
I'm still
cats
so
and
mad
lower
that they
bats.
cut out Nifredil from the movies. It was such an integral part of J.R.R. Tolkien's story.
I'm one of those people that's super bitter about cutting out Tom Bombadil.
Oh, stop.
Tom Bombadil is awesome, dude.
He is awesome.
He's a crazy old man that lives in the woods, and his girlfriend is the physical embodiment of strength. You're telling me you don't want Ian McKellen talking to that guy? That would be great.
Look, it's bad enough that we have to spend 3 movies for them just to go deliver a ring. It's just a big FedEx quest.
It's just a
I don't need any more distractions. Let's keep it to the essentials.
Boy, they did not need to split The Hobbit into 3. Like,
Oh god, they really.
The Hobbit is shorter than any one book of Lord of the Rings. Like, it's not a long book. It's a kid's book.
Yeah.
Yeah, but think of what a great, like,
Oh, identify.
Amazing investment Peter Jackson is for a movie studio. Because like you can just give him a pamphlet and he'll be like, I think I have an idea for 8 movies. They'll each make $1 billion.
Okay, so the identification works pretty much the same. It stays in engine and kind of zooms in on your target.
That's good.
Yeah.
This doesn't seem like a disaster right now. I mean, some of the geometry is clearly, like, spared down, and, you know, that's fine.
The texture work, it's not on par with what I think the Xbox can do.
And how, yeah, like,
And like, I mean, look at the floor. I mean, it'll take a second for the stream to catch up, but if you look at the floor I'm standing on, like, it just took 10, 15, 20 seconds for the actual floor texture to load. Excuse me. I'm a little under the weather.
You should put on a sweater, Ranger.
You'll catch your death of cold out there, Ranger.
It's mighty chilly. Bring a light jacket, Ranger.
You want a cardigan at the very least.
You don't seem properly dressed.
This a turtleneck.
Next one I kill, I'll bring back its head.
No.
It's a turtle.
Oh, Ranger, me and the other Urims have got a secret Santa going. Would you like a nice scarf?
I made it myself.
Trying to escape, we'll starve to death on the pole. Don't think you can get away.
Where are the other archers? Oh, there's one right there. No, right now this feels pretty much just like Shadow of Mordor. Mordor.
Shadow of Mordor.
Shooter murder. Oh, I'm glad that I can just shoot them anywhere and they die. That's refreshing. Oh, okay, so I got all the archers. There's the guy.
Yeah, you know, now that I'm looking at this, like, I don't understand why people would say this, like, was some kind of disaster. Like, this seems like a perfectly good game.
Well, we've only played about 5 minutes.
Alright, but, like, you know, having played the PlayStation 4 version start to finish, this seems, so far, you know, the first 20 or so minutes.
Yeah, watching the lips move whenever they talk it looks kind of just like the stickers on a Metroid moving in and out. It doesn't really look like someone's speaking.
Yeah, like, you know, you want... So when I was writing up our little announcement of the stream today, I was thinking about how you just, downports aren't really something that you think about as much as you used to.
Right,
You know,
yeah.
back when, that was... the most accessible games were often downports. You know, something like Street Fighter 2 on Sega Genesis or Super Nintendo was what you played for Street Fighter, and it was by no means as well animated or you know, complex as the arcade version, but it was still a very good game. It still played enough like that it didn't really matter. It was good in its own right. And that's kind of what you hope for with something like this. I mean, obviously the best case scenario is something like with Forza Horizon 2, where you literally have the exact same game, and the only loss is visual fidelity.
Well, that's what I felt, at least what little I played of the 360 version of Titanfall. Granted, Titanfall is not a huge, sprawling, ambitious game like Shadow of Mordor, but, you know, it just kind of looked like the textures weren't quite as good. But it still looked really nice. Of course, that was running on the Source engine, right, which is very scalable. And Shadow of Mordor is what, Unreal?
I think
No, Shadow of Mordor is custom tech.
Yeah,
Oh,
I was
really?
just gonna say it's their own engine.
This is no
Derived
time
from
to keep
Lisp tech.
secrets. I have been stuck here for
That makes
weeks.
sense.
Which also ran games like No One Lives Forever, Shogo Mobile Armor Division, No One. What's the did they do Blood? Did they do one of the Blood games? Blood 2, maybe?
Oh my god. I didn't even...
Like Blood, the first-person shooter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
I think they may have done the second one. and obviously condemned to
Let's see.
fear.
Okay,
Here.
here's a random guy with intel. I will go find him and see how this works out.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. See how that goes.
God, the loading time just for pausing is nuts. There's definitely a lot of texture pop in. I mean, really bad.
It doesn't seem to be Mass Effect 1 bad, though.
Yeah.
I'm still angry about the fact that the Mass Effect PC versions do not support a controller.
Oh, they don't? That's brutal.
Oh man, this is just the intel that's like lying on the table. Damn it.
Oh, man.
I'll just stand on the table to grab it.
It's just an orc's letter to his mom.
Dear Mom, thank you for the
Our new boss has the following characteristics.
thank you for the cardigan.
It is keeping me warm on these cold Mordor nights. Ratbag is scared of bees. Thought you should know.
Your son, Grignar the Impatient.
P.S. Have you gotten this letter yet, Mom?
Alright, I've marked a new target. They all seem to have kind of the same mouth. They look
Yeah.
they look like, you know, like a deep sea fish.
You got a bad case of Xbox 360 mouth there, son.
Should get that looked at.
There's so many of them, they don't even miss.
You know, someone pointed out at the very beginning of this stream that, you know, we were streaming Geometry Wars and had about 100 people, and that the second we started streaming this, that number instantly dropped.
Yeah. Hey, come back.
Oh, an herb I need is nearby.
Making a soup, Ranger.
Man,
Sean Sharkey. Well, everyone knows that an Xbox One is just two Xbox 360s taped together.
you know, I've had the title track or the opening track from Tales from the Borderlands stuck in my head since Monday. It's so good.
Oh, is it good?
It's so good.
This is the soundtrack by the usual Telltale guy. I think it's Jared Emerson Johnson.
I'm not positive on that, but it's
Their soundtrack is usually fantastic.
well, and Borderlands, you know, usually has at least that one really good sort of get you going song in it.
Mm-hmm.
But the title track or the opening track in Tales is called "Busy Earnin'," as in busy earning without the G.
Right.
By Jungle, which I guess the track came out in like February this year. Oh, spider, kill it. So do you have to shoot things to hunt them? Is that how that works?
You can, however you can get them.
Careful of the honey badgers.
I still need to play Far Cry 4. I haven't gotten around to that yet.
That's great. I also like the Shadow of Mordor soundtrack. Even though it's not very overbearing, it's quite understated.
I think it's very good. I think
it's by Gary Scheinman, who did BioShock games.
Oh, cool.
You know what?
Yeah, I think it's great. I like it. I like it a lot more than some of the melodies that they added into the Hobbit movies. After how sort of recognizable the music is in the first Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Mm-hmm. You know, having played Tales from the Borderlands, it got me thinking, like, I think as far as games have come, one of the things that you don't see a lot of, that you don't see used very effectively, is licensed music.
Very much so.
I mean, I think so. Alan Wake is one of the first games that really brought that to light. Right?
Yeah.
Because you would look forward to which song they chose.
Right.
For each episode.
Oh! I just killed a captain without knowing he was a captain.
Huh.
I love it when that happens.
Oh, and now...
Hey, oh, go ahead, Richard.
I was gonna say, now everyone's freaking out because he's dead. Even though I stealth killed him.
A game that I am not particularly fond of but that I enjoyed the soundtrack for is Lollipop Chainsaw. That's a good licensed soundtrack right there.
Yeah, well, the scene on the Thresher that's set
Yeah.
to Mickey.
Yeah.
That's good. That's a good.
Yeah,
that's
I
a
love
great
that.
moment in that game. Well, wait, no. That's
Would,
what
would
that.
that have been like James Gunn's influence? You
May-
think?
maybe.
You know what? I
Considering
think
how
it is.
inspired his musical choices were for Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, because it shares a lot in there. It's such a shame, man. I actually in Lollipop Chainsaw. I kind of like what it's about.
Oh no, and I wanted it to be great. It was just it was dumb, which is one thing, but it was also not a very good action game.
Yeah, it was just a bad action game, and
So a Suda 51 game.
well, I think No More Heroes is a great action game, personally. You're suspect of that, Lenny?
Oh, good old Ratbag. Everyone take a nice close look at Ratbag.
Oh, Ratbag. Ratbag is probably my favorite character this year.
Oh, I hope you all appreciate that I'm muting myself when I have to cough. But you can still see it through the magic of the internet.
I like Ratback, and he was a pretty effective like blend of storytelling and tutorializing.
Totally.
Whee! Oh, I wish I had the perk that lets me get a burst of speed when I hop over things. Yeah, this does not look nearly as good. I'm not seeing... of course, this is the very beginning of the game, but I'm not seeing a lot of, like, inter-orc conflicts popping up.
Yeah, you kind of have to cover some ground to start seeing that stuff. Too.
Yeah, because I have, like I said, we're just now getting to Ratbag, so...
God bless Ratbag. What a good guy.
Nice fella. But it doesn't seem... Like, yeah, guys, it doesn't look great, even for an Xbox 360 game. Like, Skyrim looks better than this.
Yeah, totally.
But... It's certainly playable. I mean, it feels like Shadows of Mordor to me, so far. But, God, the texture pop-in is bad. Bad.
I'm sure it's not easy to to go through the
It's
process.
actually really easy to.
Yeah, God. Richard, I just got to the point where you're scaling this building and there's just no textures on the bricks.
Mm-hmm.
There's 0 textures on the bricks.
Well, and you know, it's funny seeing these things, because obviously there's a difference, but like, think of like we talked about Halo 4, The Last of Us, both of which are on these previous generation systems, and they look great. You know, as good as certainly some of the early PS4 and Xbox One games for sure.
Although this looks more like the licensed game you imagine.
You're right,
Yeah,
actually.
There's
Yeah.
a new licensed game coming out, not the high quality stuff.
Poison in your ear.
We've seen this yet.
I'm gonna go ahead and let this cutscene play out to see if I do that, if it's going to mask the loading effectively or not. Because when I skip them, there's a lot of loading.
That all these other dead orcs did.
Go ahead, you bastard! Do it! I'll die. You'll know nothing!
I thought about doing this stream with a nice glass of wine, but I forgot.
Oh, brutal.
Maybe I should just play some Persona Q while we're waiting.
No match for the
That
orc
game
army.
is dangerous. Okay?
Oh God, it's so much fun. Persona Q.
Persona Q is a dangerous game, everybody. I fired it up last night, and I was like, you know what? I just want to get through the intro. It's an RPG. There's got to be a bunch of intro stuff. And I was like, oh boy, that was fun. And then I looked at the clock, and 4 hours. I was like, oh no, that's bad.
It's so much fun.
That's so much fun. It's just so much fun.
And like, if you told me that like a game that forces you to draw a map was gonna be fun, I would.
Okay,
surprised.
how do you draw a map? What is your system for doing that?
Oh well, I mean, I color in the lines that it shows you, and I definitely
As you go.
as I go, I definitely put in all of the treasure chests and power spots and all that. And if I can see something far enough in the distance, I'll try to draw it ahead of time, just to save myself a little
So
time.
what I ended up starting to do is because you'll like it'll gray in whenever you walk over.
Yes.
So by the time I got to like the second floor of the first dungeon, I would just go into a room and walk all over everything, and then just draw it in, so that like I could just do it all in one shot. And that has become the most addictive, satisfying thing in the world. Being like, I've walked over everything, time to paint.
See, my only issue with that is like if I miss a wall somewhere, then that won't work. Because and I won't be able to tell where it is.
Something would have happened to them, and they wouldn't be able to stop your little.
Because without any of the walls there, I could just walk right
Hunt
down.
them down.
Now, not to taunt everybody in the chat, but let me say that our joystick's own Alexander
can
Slawinski is in the process of making Batman Arkham Knight gifts that are amazing.
You help me.
Oh, Anthony, you might be able to answer this. Sean Sharkey in the chat, I think he's one of our regulars, asking when our podcast will be working properly again.
Guys, I wish I had an update. I
It
really
is so
would.
out of our hands.
It has nothing. We have no control over this.
How much can you share with about what's wrong with it, just so people understand?
Okay, so here's the deal, and here's what we can say: is a few weeks ago, we very suddenly and unexpectedly had to migrate the podcast to a newer hosting service.
Actually, quick thing. Did it always let you just follow things automatically? Because I'm not even pressing the stick.
Oh no, that's... Oh, in
Yes.
yes, in
Somebody's
cutscenes.
got
Okay, I never noticed
I
that.
remember this mention well.
Okay.
It only happens a few times in the game.
So this Goroth is in
But
charge.
so we were forced unexpectedly to shuffle
He's no war
the
chief.
podcast to a no
They
hosting
answer
service,
directly to the
and
Black
we
Hand.
were not told with
Shadow
any
of
advance
Mordor,
warning
I'm
that
in
this
the
was
Black
going to
Hand's
happen.
inner
It literally
circle.
happened out of the blue
Becoming a captain
when
is
we
just
were
the first
hosting
step of Ratbag's plan to
episode
become a
119.
war chief.
And
Been prepared
so
to step
we
hard
hopped
on
on
his
it.
neck.
We got a new hosting service. We did not miss an episode. We have 4 new episodes since this happened. They are all available at joystick.com/podcast, which I'm going to put in the chat for you right now. And so, something that I can tell you guys that we won't go into a whole lot of details about is that we do not handle our technology directly. Our corporate parent takes care of the maintenance of joystick.com and our various services, and we need them to implement any changes.
Ranger, quickly!
So right
I
now,
don't do well with pointy
the
ends.
process
shutting
of
things.
migrating our new podcast
done,
hosting
Ranger.
service
Just
to
picture
our
all these
original
corpses as
RSS
Goroth.
feed, because we don't want to
These are
interrupt
your goals.
everything for our subscribers.
Goroth's been out for Ratbag
So
for
we
years.
need them to
Smug piece
plug
of
in
dung
the
he
new
is.
hosting service to
We
our
come to
old
blows as far
RSS feed.
back as Ratbag can remember.
And they have yet to do
Still,
this.
Ratbag
And
never
it is a
wins.
complicated process.
Last time,
and
he kicks Ratbag
we
into the
appreciate
Caragor
that.
pit.
We're also trying to
Caragor
make
backs
these
Ratbag around
changes
like a
during the
yarn
holiday
ball.
season,
Oh, that
when
Goroth's
schedules
gonna
get
pay.
very, very cramped.
Smug piece of
And
dung. He'll
so
pay.
right now,
Goroth
Ludwig
keeps
and
Caragors.
myself and the unsung hero of the Joystick podcast, our producer, Jonathan Downen.
And let me guess, you
all
think I
3
should
of
open
us
those
have
pens?
worked very, very hard
Goroth's
to
always
make
in
sure
there.
that this
Never leaves,
transition
ever.
goes as smooth as it
Wonder
can,
where he
but we've
pees.
done everything we can for
Oh,
now.
That explains
So
the
as
smell.
soon as we can get it done, we will get it done. But it's out of our hands at the moment. If you need the podcast, joystick.com/podcast, you can download it directly. Sorry, that was kind of a long and rambling explanation, but that is what is going on.
The nighttime lighting looks rough in this game. In fact, it doesn't look like there is
It doesn't look like night.
a whole lot of nighttime lighting.
You know what? You know what it looks like? It looks like a movie where they're shooting night for day, or day for night.
Yeah, yeah.
where they just shoot a daytime scene and then they just make it look kind of blue.
It looks like his animation is mostly intact, though. I mean, I thought the animation was great in this game.
Yeah,
His running and fun.
it seems like the fine animation, like the very small details, are what's missing. Like the facial stuff, the little flourishes. He's got that
Oops.
tail on his sword.
I raised the alarm. I wasn't supposed to do that.
That's good. Let's see how many guys show up.
Oh, good call. Oops, that's not who I thought I was aiming for.
That's, man, the foliage that you're hiding in, that really shows you some...
Those are the stealth shrubs from Assassin's Creed 4.
Yeah.
What is?
That noise is Xbox 360 trying as hard as it can.
It's the sound of your doom.
Welcome to your doom. Okay.
Now, if you're gonna say "Welcome to your doom," Richard, you got to do the smoke sound effect immediately afterward. Welcome to your doom.
Do I have a point? Oh, I do have a point. Good, because I don't have... I can't do aerial stealth finishers, which is why I failed that last mission. Is there a barge outside of somebody's window?
It's a drill on my side. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's alright.
Ludwig is broadcasting from a shipping yard.
It just... I mean, you're in San Francisco. Conceivably, you might be near a harbor.
The problem with living in the city is there's always construction all the time.
Well, that is a common...
But that also makes it seem alive. So it's cool and annoying at the same time. It's quieting down. I looked through my window and went, shh.
Guys! Trying to do a stream.
Sorry, Ludwig. Sorry, Ludwig. Ludwig, sorry.
Sorry, Ludwig!
Sorry. Sorry, Ranger.
Sorry, Ranger!
Richard, is the screen tearing as bad on your end as it appears in the stream?
It's... It has...
Because-
I think it's more... It's more the frame rate is the big issue. I don't really see the tearing... Well, I see some, but not... Well, yeah, no, it is just as bad, actually.
It is just as bad, because it's every time you shift the camera.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, actually, Alexander just noticed it too. Alexander's saying, is that screen tearing for real?
Yeah.
Boy, howdy is it.
No, that is not. It's not Twitch. I thought maybe it was, but...
Weesh. That is very
I
sad.
lowered the
Good
stream
spot
quality
to get
for
some
this,
shut-eye.
if it
Goroth
is,
will kill you if he
still
catches
tell
you
it's
napping.
like crazy.
Goroth never comes here. He's always by the hunting camp.
yeah, my
It's just hopping in.
my frame rate's not doing great on Twitch, but that might have more to do with my computer than anything else. Close a few tabs.
Fear is a powerful tool, Talion.
It is a powerful
To
tool.
work.
So far, and like obviously, again, this is so early that it's hard to say. But if somebody did not have access to one of the new consoles or a PC and wasn't going to have access to one for a long time, would you say, yeah, check this out?
It doesn't feel terribly different. I mean, it's certainly inferior, and in a way that it's not just inferior because it's on an older generation of consoles.
close.
It actually feels like
Which one of this filth is Goroth?
it just wasn't well developed.
Right. Not optimized.
Hey, buddy, come here.
Do we know who did this though? Like who was in charge of
Uh,
this?
on the... let me see if it says anything on the box. What the hell? Oh, that works. It's not exactly how I wanted to do that, but that's the joy of open world games, right?
Ludwig, I am looking up right now to see if we have any information on if there
The
was
conversation that you're overhearing right now is pretty great. It's a guy who's describing how he killed 3 Caragors with his bare hands, and he snapped their necks with his eyes.
So, guys, I got some information here for you. Behavior Interactive is responsible for this report.
Okay.
Is that the developer for Wet?
Yeah, it is. You got it, Ludwig. They are the developer of the Elijah Dushku starring. That is correct.
And at some point they canceled Wet 2, right?
Oh, there was going to be a Wet 2? I didn't even know.
Yeah,
that.
I think that's right. Yeah.
To work on ports, I guess.
Yeah,
the only other studio that I know of that does ports like this is Edge of Reality.
God, the textures on these orcs are just awful. Like I legitimately can't tell if this armor texture just hasn't loaded yet, or if that's just what it looks like.
You know what? It looks like a cutscene in a Halo 2 before the textures pop in.
Yeah. Except the texture's not coming. Like, this is just what the armor looks like.
You're just waiting for the texture that never came. A novel.
A new story from.
Okay, so the big.
I'm still waiting for this armor to appear properly, but I guess this is it.
No, it just doesn't.
It looks like a foil wrapper that used to be around chocolate, and like you put an object beneath it, and you kind of rubbed the wrapper on it to get the imprint slightly embossed, and that's where it's lost.
Tackle.
Ludwig, Richard was already talking about the work they did recently, but if you are going to get somebody to port your game to a new machine, Blue Point Studios.
Oh yeah.
Cannot be beat. They are amazing at it. Titanfall 360 is amazing. Their work on bringing Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 to PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 and Vita especially.
Oh, he got away! Damn it!
And they also did the God of War 2 and 3, or God of War 1 and 2 remasters.
Yeah. God of War 1 and 2, Shadow of Colossus, and Eco. Which was really interesting.
No.
I talked to
is
their
gone.
CEO right after the Team Eco collection came out, and they were talking about how for weeks they were just going back and forth with Fumito Ueda creating new textures to add in to Shadow of the Colossus. And like it would be like, how about this? How about this shade of beige? Well, slightly tweaked shade of beige.
The funny thing about the Shadow of the Colossus PS3 version is when you play that the first 5 minutes, or like
What?
you had the impression that the PS2 version ran okay and it was acceptable.
Nope.
And then you see it running at just 30 frames a second. You're like, wait, no, this is
different game.
This is clearly the way the game was meant to be. But to be fair, they did some crazy stuff with the PS2.
Yeah. I mean, like, that game was just struggling against the limitations of that machine, but God, was it amazing.
Like, they faked a lot of stuff that would only become
okay.
regular features. You know?
Now this is interesting. I just killed this captain. It looks like I can just get intel on any single orc I want. Which is very different from the other version.
No, I think you can do that. You can get intel.
Really?
As long as if you interrogate them. You're just getting it from killing him?
No, I interrogated him, but before, I swear I remember it was like, there's only a handful it would let you actually get the intel for.
No, you can also.
No, you can ask for anybody.
Intel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So Alexander, who's just joining us here, Alexander Slawinski, news content director at Joystick, who reviewed Shadow of Mordor for us, gave it 5 stars out
He
of
called
5.
it revolutionary. I
Revolutionary.
saw it on the commercial.
Is asking, have we touched on the rumors about what's actually different in the Nemesis system? And so far, we've played almost an hour of the game, and we have not seen anything that is dramatically different yet. But Richard,
Have we seen anything that's grammatically different?
yeah. Ranger just keeps, putting on his dangling,
Oh man, this cutscene is chugging bad.
Richard,
I
if you
need you to
get a
take a body
chance,
back to my tent.
go out
I'm
there
gonna
and
get
get murdered by a regular orc.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. By the way, Alexander protests that they actually used outstanding for the commercial. Which is crazy because I've never heard of a publisher turn down an opportunity to use
First I'm
revolutionary.
resurrected by a wraith. Now I'm
Let's
working
see.
with an orc. What could
Get
possibly
killed by
be
a
next?
rando, huh?
We
Let
must
me,
use the weapons of our enemy.
I'll just target one. See if he gets promoted.
Ooh, you got the Breath of Light, level 9.
Got the
Rune.
the runes and stuff it's overwhelming to me.
Well, I think there were two. I mean, I don't want to say nuance. I don't think they had nuance. There were too minor sometimes. Like you would get a very minor bump
Well,
between the different
right.
levels.
When I first started unlocking
Too
them,
incremental, I should say. Like
Right.
it was just annoying.
it's just like get a 12% chance to do this or whatever, and it's I can't read this right now. I don't care. They feel not very substantial. Upgrades.
So much loading.
Yeah,
The
the problem
loading.
is if I load the map instead of the pause menu, this is what I get.
That sword also really doesn't look as nice as it did before. Makes me sad. Can we talk about the practice of video game characters who put their swords, who sheathe their swords on their back very easily, even though
Right.
Yeah.
your arm would have to be so much longer to lift it up so that the point of the sword could actually enter the
It's
sheath.
Right.
it's very
I think this
difficult.
game is it's like a different kind of clasp thing. Like he puts it in from the side slightly.
Yeah.
So they've addressed that. So clearly, it's an excellent video game.
Ludwig, I went to college with this goth kid named, oh god, now I can't remember his name. Anyway, this goth kid who would-
Harold Black Cauldron.
yeah, Harold Black Cauldron. We'll call him Harold Black Cauldron.
Hate
Who
each
would
other
walk
almost as
around
much as they hate us.
State College, Pennsylvania, full black trench coat, black boots. He had blonde hair that went down to the middle of his back, with a sheathed sword on his back a lot of the time.
So Sephiroth.
Oh, well, you think that's
Someone
funny.
of the Slytherin house.
Richard, you joke. He used to walk into coffee shops and play One-Winged Angel on the piano, which is Sephiroth's theme
And then
song.
another
Okay.
blonde person would come in and say, "Hey, have you seen the man with the black trench coat?
I'm looking for this guy.
I've been following him. He left Midgar a while ago."
Oh my god, it's killing me that I can't remember his name. Joseph! His name was Joseph. There you go. Real
Joseph
name,
Aron.
everybody.
Joseph. Joseph.
Joe Sephiroth. Oh, Joe Sephiroth. But Joe Sephiroth, was,
Joe Sephiroth was the full name of that character.
So he knew kendo and like actually knew how to fight with a sword.
Kendo is
Ken-
from accounting.
They hung out. They hung out together all the time. And he would act in like fan films for
Okay,
Highlander and stuff.
so I just killed. I'm sorry, you're gonna see this in a second, but I just killed an orc, or started fighting an orc right in front of this other one, and he ran after me, and like ran to the spot where I was, like I was just missing. He didn't know where it was, and I was like 5 feet to the right. It was really weird. Like
The
he just-
end of this, Ludwig, is that he practiced for like hours to figure out how to sheathe the sword on his back without looking. And like this was like a long process for him.
But I mean, the sheath has to be pretty low for the tip of the sword to get in.
It has to be low, and it has to not be like an especially long sword in the first place. But he got really, really good at it. And sometimes, if he was like doing like a Ren Fair thing or something outside, you'd see him trying to sheathe the sword, and he might miss a little and have like an awkward moment of like trying to find the sheath, waving a sword behind his back.
Yeah, well, that's always embarrassing when you can't get your.
Yeah, when you can't properly sheathe your sword.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet old Joe Sephiroth is doing good these days.
Strikes me as the kind of person who, like, you know, runs their own martial arts dojo.
Right.
Like the guy
So
in...
the draw distance is definitely
Yeah,
not as good.
yeah.
It seems so dark in the distance, even though it is Mordor.
Yeah, and well, like not only dark Ludwig, but we
Oh.
were talking about how like there's not really nighttime.
Here,
in this version.
here's a conflict over here. An orc conflict of some kind.
Oh,
If I can find it.
What? Did you hear that?
Are you in? I think... Upsy doodle. Let's see what the...
Galvatron Typer, are the graphics noticeably worse than Gen 8 versions? Yes.
Oh, by a long shot. If you see the cutscenes, those are actually... It looks like they were recorded in the next-gen engine, or the PS4 or Xbox One engine, and seeing the jump between them and then the actual gameplay is pretty stark. But, of course, the Starks are Game of Thrones characters, not Lord of the Rings characters.
Did either of you guys play the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 versions of Assassin's Creed Black Flag?
No.
I'm curious how the difference between those.
I think I played the Xbox 360 version for a few hours.
Oh yeah?
If you like,
What,
It was pretty good.
was it noticeably different?
I mean, definitely noticeably worse looking because you lose resolution, and I think the frame rate was not as.
I mean,
good,
if you see
it,
just the...
it was solid. It looked like about on par with Assassin's Creed 2 and 3.
Oh, okay.
Just like
It was
the
decent.
animations in this scene are pretty bad. Like the face.
Like, you definitely lost detail.
Oh right, I'm supposed to let this guy kill me. Sorry, kill me, buddy. Oh. Oh.
Kill me, guys.
Hey, guy. I'm not your guy, buddy. Yeah. Okay, it's the same little quick time prevent your death thing, which I'm just not good enough to do.
Alexander is noticing that there are
Wait,
some very
wait.
weird animations going on.
Okay, this is the first time I've ever done it, so it's not letting me fail.
Oh, dang.
I'll just have to make sure he kills me again. No, not that. You. No, not you. Yeah, you kill me.
Maybe this time I'll tie
Come on, Thakrak. Kill me, Thakrak.
Galvatron Typer says, I heard that there are no day-night cycles in the Gen 7 versions. There is a difference between day and night. We saw in the very first mission where you're wandering around with Ratbag. It was clearly supposed to be nighttime, but it wasn't very dark out. Like, it was just, like, dimmer.
Okay, that one, when it killed me, it said, I care not for ranks or accolades I'll get for your death.
Weird.
I wonder if that means anything.
What?
Okay, no, he's...
Is it...
No, his... Yeah, it looks like he's gonna get promoted.
Alright.
Yeah, that's still in there. He even got new armor.
So maybe... Yeah, it's really... I mean, we've been playing this for over an hour. And...
I'm not
Like-
seeing a lot of, like mechanical differences between the two games.
Yeah, I mean, like, it seems that these are presentation issues.
So someone's asking about day-night cycles.
Yeah.
So have we confirmed that that's in there, or did
Well-
they just switch it for story purposes?
We're not sure. I mean, it was real time when he was wandering around with Ratbag. Like, that was still darker out.
Pale reflections of the light.
I'm trying to discover
Memories
if
of a lost kingdom.
these are day-night cycles or if it's just like the region of the map you're on.
Mm.
But I think I've been here before, and it's definitely darker than it was then. Yeah, so far, I mean, it's certainly not nearly as pretty, but it's
And obviously, it's not as smooth.
no,
experience,
it's not as smooth. It's,
Considering how much loading you need to deal with.
Screen tearing is not great.
Right.
I would say the loading issues are probably what are
Like
going.
the nighttime lighting is clearly messed up. I mean, look at the shadows right
Yeah.
now. It's just,
I think
it's not seen.
the loading issues are probably going to be the most onerous thing to
Yeah.
deal with, just because you do have to go to the pause screen a lot.
Not as much foliage.
No, not nearly.
Right, but like we're all talking about like with the exception of load times, these are presentational issues, not things that are dramatically going to diminish your enjoyment of the way it
No,
plays.
after hearing people say it was terrible, like a train
Right.
wreck, this doesn't feel like a train wreck.
Yeah, it seems like a
Like,
quickly done, unoptimized port
Right.
of a game that was built for far more capable machinery.
Now, I don't think they're probably not going to put not a train wreck on the commercial, but
Yeah.
I got orders to get a pile of timber.
you know, I think if the other version didn't exist, I think, you know, if I were to review this game, I would point out the load times, the texture problems, but say
Right.
that as far as the gameplay is concerned, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, and it also, I mean, like, obviously, we would need more time to really get a sense of how this stacks up
Sure.
to, you know, proper Shadow of Mordor on PS4 and Xbox One, because, like, it's not until you get to, like, the second map, spoiler warning, there are 2 maps.
Sort of road that hides in the shadows.
When you get to the second map, there are those big fortresses that you have to
Something of
infiltrate.
great power
And
has
those
left
big
its mark on
fortresses,
him.
like, you can end up with, what,
I
100
sense
guys trying to
You
kill
feel he
you
has answers.
at certain points.
From
So we
us.
can't really test that scale.
Yeah, so far I've seen maybe
Too
around 10
difficult.
enemies at a time.
Right. Where, I mean, you know, many times that is something you can... there's a cutscene, and it's just, like, a completely different character model.
Maybe before... I don't know how long this Golem mission is, but I was thinking maybe I'd have enough time to just go find one of the fortresses and just make a lot of noise.
Make a lot of noise.
After I kill these guys. Combat in this game is very satisfying still.
Very satisfying. It's my favorite combat that I have ever played in an open world game.
Well, I think what I like about it is it feels better, like Assassin's Creed has somewhat similar combat, but I don't know, just the flow of the counters and actually doing all your damage feels much better to me.
Yeah.
When you have loads of other options too, you can stun and
Like
vault over. I feel like it's like a blend of Batman, Arkham Asylum, and Prince of Persia: Sands of Time.
yeah, I just, you know, one of the problems with, you know, these third-person combat systems is when they wind up being you spending a lot of time waiting for the other person to do something so that you can counter it, and it gets kind of annoying.
I thought I heard something.
Okay, where's
Creature's
Gollum?
path is fraught with danger.
Where's that guy who imitates Andy Serkis real nice?
Nobody likes you.
The runt's tracks lead us right into that Caragor cave.
It burns us!
It's on the run!
Very accurate. Dark Lurker 23, the Nemesis system is on 360.
Yeah,
It is here.
Here's the thing: we have asked Warner Brothers directly, like, what's different, and they have told us the Nemesis system is different, but they've never told us how.
Right. Yeah.
And we should reiterate that Warner Brothers did not distribute review copies of the 360 and PS3 versions. We went out and bought this today. Oh, eat it, Caragor! And so usually if a publisher just flat out won't give you copies of something, it's either because it's terrible or because it's so good they don't care. They don't need your help.
They must have tracked the Caragors here.
Well, I think most likely explanation is that they have very good word of mouth and praise from critics for this game right now. So why risk introducing voices that disagree based on an inferior version of the game.
And yeah, for something that your average consumer really isn't going to pay attention to in the first place.
Yeah.
Sean Sharkey brings up a very good point that maybe the war chief parts are different.
Oh, that's
Like,
possible.
Yeah, and like, that's another thing that we're not able to really test because, you know, it's the beginning of the game. You can't go and start trying to build up your own army and all that jazz. But right now, at least, like we've already seen examples of like a common enemy killing Richard and then being promoted to captain.
Yeah.
We've seen that. We've killed the captain. We have gathered intel on captains, and all of that stuff is present.
Okay, I think I just finished this Golem mission, so I'm gonna go. Oh, first I'm gonna turn off my plate.
The archery in this game is pretty satisfying.
Very good. Yeah, love it.
Did you guys unlock the abilities in the game where you can fire an infinite amount of? You have an infinite amount of focus.
Oh
So you
no.
can
Oh
just-
no, I didn't get there.
Yeah.
I think this is.
Pretty
Whoa.
That was like one of 3 that I had left to unlock. when I
Oh my
beat
Yeah,
God.
the
there's
game.
also one that lets you you have an infinite number of execution moves.
Awesome.
So you just execute one after the other.
Oh yeah, that's the one I want to get that one for the sword because the sword runes are the ones I get the most of. Just because I really do enjoy the combat. I'm gonna get this tower.
Simba11 says it's now called the friendship system. You keep killing them, and now they hate you and won't come to your Christmas party.
I was going to bring a nice bottle of Riesling, but not anymore.
I showed up in the store, all they had left was strawberry ripple. What am I? A commoner? I'm not going to drink that.
Mistletoe becomes an extremely scary thing when you have orcs at your Christmas party.
Now I'm just imagining the movie Sideways with nothing but orcs. I am not drinking below. I'm not doing it.
Oh, there's that really sad scene where an orc breaks into Sauron's bedroom and steals money. There's just a big glowing eye in the middle of the bedroom.
Galvatron Typer says, I read a rumor that due to low sales, MS is considering porting Sunset Overdrive to 360.
Oh, wow.
That would be challenging, I think. But I wouldn't be surprised if that game didn't sell as well as it should.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, it's a new IP. It's a different kind of shooter. It doesn't have the over the top. I hate to say this, but like the over the top mainstream brutality that Mordor does. It doesn't have a big license like Mordor does.
They also didn't really market it very well.
I was just gonna say, Ludwig, I think the marketing was really misjudged on Sunset Overdrive, and they did market it very broadly. Every single movie I went to go see in the theater over the summer, like X-Men, Days of Future Past, and stuff like that. During like the pre-show thing that they do in movie theaters now, there was always this infomercial for Sunset Overdrive with, you know, guys from Insomniac, like Ted Price wearing a flannel shirt, you know, trying to act like Mr. Cool Guy.
He is Mr. Cool Guy.
I know, I love Ted. Like he's such a nice guy, but like you could see that they dressed him up. And that's the thing, like every single time one of these like infomercials about it would come on, it was a little too much. It was a little too put upon. They felt like old Navy commercials more than something that was like, here's this cool game that we're making.
I'm struggling and failing to find a stronghold here. Maybe there's one.
Sean Sharkey is saying "To the Right" is a song.
That wood straight up did not have textures on it, by the way.
Oh yeah, no, it's. I think it's worse when you're running everywhere. Because it's like you're taking it by surprise. Like, hold on, I didn't know you were gonna be here. Hold on, just a second. To the right, he says, huh?
I will say Sunset Overdrive is right at the top of the list of reasons that I want to get myself a Xbox One, though.
Yeah,
Great game.
I still need to play it. I've got it. It's sitting on my Xbox. why this isn't a stronghold at all. It's just a bunch of ruins. Oh wait, wait a minute. Hold on.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are heading into the end of our streaming time. Richard is trying to get to a stronghold so we can sort of push this version to the limit. Raise the Roof, who has just joined us and is asking, "Why are you putting yourselves through this?" And Alexander Slawinski has said, "So you don't have to."
It's not that bad.
Yeah, it's not that bad. In fact, I think if we've taken anything from have no other way to play this game, this is not a terrible, like, it's not the worst, like, it's still worth playing, even like this. Would you say that's accurate, Richard? It's still worth playing?
I think so. And I mean, so far just running around, what I'm seeing are oh, that looks like a stronghold. Are just kind of gaggles of half a dozen or so orcs. What is a group of orcs called, anyway?
A murder. It's a
murder of orcs. That makes sense. So maybe not quite as many characters on screen. I finally found a stronghold, by the way.
Yeah, no, there's like just in seeing the pockets of orcs as you've run through the world, it's definitely scaled back.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna get one of these people to sound the alarm to see how many I can get on me.
And
Sound the alarm.
I think that's what we're seeing, the huge difference. Because the Nemesis system is present. It is here. But
and it may be that, you know, we're missing the complexity later on.
We might be missing some of the complexity that comes in the second half of the game.
Damn, that was a cool execution. Good.
Like, there's just, we have already seen demonstration that the scale is drawn back. You don't have as many enemies at the same time, and we know that the artificial intelligence running the orcs, you know, like, for stealth purposes, they're pretty stupid, but all of the different AIs populating the world at various different times.
I did have a captain just jump out at me from nowhere.
All right.
By the way, the alarm has been sounded, and there's 8-ish orcs around me.
So keep running around. Let's see how far we can push this beast. While Richard tries to antagonize a murder of orcs into action, everybody, Joystick is going on holiday here. We're going to be enjoying a little Thanksgiving break over the next 2 days, but we are going to have crazy updates on the site throughout the Thanksgiving weekend. We have a ton of like fun little features going up over the next 2 days.
We're seeing well over 10 orcs here.
Oh, all right.
This isn't bad.
It's not like David Attenborough. We're seeing well over 10 orcs now. Well over. Society seems to be hostile.
I see the glimmer of intelligence. I'm gonna kill this guy. Oh, I lost my...
Yeah, I mean, this isn't, again, not as many as you see, like, in those last few.
Yeah, not even.
I'm just gonna let myself die, so... Oh, no! There you go, everybody.
Soon
Yeah.
Sauron himself
So,
will know
what
my
we've learned,
name.
we came in expecting a nightmare. And, anything but. Anything but. There seems to be, it is a functional version of Shadow of Mordor. It's like Double Dragon on the NES, you know? Yeah, it's not how you want to play the game, but in a pinch, it'll do.
I think, you know, one of the things you'll miss is just, you know, the incredible layer of polish that we saw on the PC, PS4, and Xbox One versions. You know, like, the facial capture is just them going... It looks almost like Alan Wake-ish, you know, just like... And, but, you know, the game itself seems like it's pretty much the same.
Yeah, and that is okay. If there's no other way for you to play the game, it's a perfectly reasonable way to play the game. And just you wait, everybody. We're gonna do another stream sort of like this in the coming weeks. We have that Wii U copy of Watch Dogs.
Oh yeah.
Just waiting to be played. So yeah, everybody, have a wonderful Thanksgiving. If you're celebrating Thanksgiving, if you're watching this and you're not from the United States, and have a good end of your week, go to joystick.com. There's tons of awesome stuff going up, including a fun little radio show that Richard, myself, and Mike Suzik put together. We have a Joystick podcast going up on Friday. That's joystick.com, joystiq.com/podcast. That's where you can get it. That'll be up on Friday. Tons of great features. A brand new contest going up on Friday. We're giving away 3 HTC One Windows phones. Full phones, everybody. And all you have to do to get your hands on those, like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. It's Joystick with a Q on both. Luddy, Richard, what are you guys doing for Thanksgiving? Chilling?
Chilling, play some Persona Q. I'm trying to convince family to play either Call of Duty or maybe Toad's Treasure Tracker.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm just gonna play one more round of Geometry Wars.
Just one more! Just one more round. Alright, everybody. We will see you next week. Have a great, great weekend. Bye, everyone.
Bye!
Bye.